our webinar, which is brought to you by Federal Land, PSBank, and First Metro Securities. If you are new to our webinars, please like and subscribe to our social media channels, and I hope you learn a lot from our speakers today. For those of you who are familiar with us, I'm sure you know that most of the time we talk about investments. But today, let's get personal. So what is it about? Investment pa rin naman. But the difference is, we will talk about it on a more personal level. Plus, a topic that most of us ayaw nating pag-usapan. So does anyone here who can guess this one word? Please type it in the comments or in the chat box. Ang makakahula nito, you will get a prize. So, clue. This is one word, Tagalog. Madalas kasunod ito ng Mars. So, while we are waiting for some answers, later on, we will be giving a grand prize sponsored by First Metro Securities. So, you must pay attention till the end of the program. All right, so do we have any guess? Ayan, so we have a lot of right guess. So yes, the correct answer is utang or pautang. So today we will be talking about investing and personal loan hacks every Filipino should know. But before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Ianna and I will be your host for today. I am a PRC and HLURB licensed real estate broker with a decade-long experience in residential and commercial real estate services for both local and international clients, and I am currently holding the position of site officer for Federal Land. So today, we brought to you two guest speakers. So our first speaker will be Mr. Andoy Beltran. He is an assistant vice president and the head of business development and market education of First Metro Securities. He is licensed by SEC, BSP, and Bloomberg to deal, talk about, and teach the public about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, unit investment trust funds, exchange-traded funds, and everything in between. He was named to the 10 Outstanding Young Employees of the Philippines back in 2013, a member of the Board of Directors of the Bosconian International Chamber of Commerce, president of the San Beda Economics Alumni Association, and he is also the guy behind Let's Invest PH on Facebook and Instagram. So hello, Sir Andoy. So our next guest speaker, Ms. Anne Ilagan. She is also an assistant vice president and a personal loans and digital sales head of PSBank. She has decades of experience in the banking industry. She started in origination and collections for loans, spent years in service quality and customer service experience, moved to HR to handle employee engagement, people development, organizational development, a mother of 2 millennials and 1 digital native, a Netflix aficionado, now addicted to the Wild Darkness, which is a mobile game. So welcome, Miss Anne. So Miss Anne, a Netflix aficionado plus a gamer. So I'm sure you're familiar by now that about the very famous Squid Game. So don't worry, guys, you won't be giving any spoilers, but I just want to talk about the players, no? So they all have this one thing in common, and every single one of them lubog sa utang. So can you please tell us why? Although this is based on fiction, it happens in real life kasi na maraming nalulubog sa utang. So can you please tell us why, Miss Anne?
Actually, that's a very good question, yeah. And yes, correct. There are a lot of, especially now, there are a lot of Filipinos who are indebted, no? Marami sila utang. Actually, our most feared phrase is, pautang naman dyan, di ba? When you hear that, natatakot na tayo, kinakabahan na tayo when someone tells us that. But utang per se is not really bad, no? It's more of like a cry for help. There's someone who needs help, and in this case, just financial in nature. That's the reason why they approach you to help them out, as regards the situation. What is important is that if you are able to get someone to lend you money, and you can use it for your benefit, make sure that you are responsible enough to pay it back, because utang in itself is not bad. It's just that you need to be responsible enough and to know that you can pay back the loan that you took out from someone. Now, I'm so happy, that we have this session or we have this type of talk together with spearheaded by Federal Land and First Metro, because it's a good way for us to enlighten or educate Filipinos, because there's something that's a deficit in Filipino education. We are not that educated on the financial part of life. We don't actually even talk about money sa bahay. So I think this is a good venue for the viewers to know a little more about personal loans.
Wow, very well said, ma'am. Actually, kanina nga, no, parang marami atang tinamaan na said, kasunod to ng Mars. Siguro mga nautangan na sila. So, Sir Andoy, no, earlier we said this topic, no, it's madalas iniiwasan siyang pag-usapan. So, bakit? Why is it so hard to talk about utang?
Well, again, siguro if we're going to factor in utang in the context of Filipinos in the Philippines, ang sama ng connotation ng utang kasi number one, nang iniisip ng mga tao, kapag may utang ka, masama yan kasi ibig sabihin hindi ka marunong mag-budget ng pera. Kapag may utang ka, ibig sabihin yan, naghihirap ka na. Kapag may utang ka, ibig sabihin yan, you're struggling financially, when in truth and in fact, it's something I hope I'd be able to prove or disprove, not all utangs are created equal. Kaya nga may bangko, 'di ba? Kaya may bangko, hindi lang siya nandyan para sa mga depositors. Nandyan din ang bangko, nandyan din ang capital markets, nandyan ang financial system ng Pilipinas because nag-o-offer din sila ng pautang. Yun nga, sabi nga ni Ma'am Ange, she put it perfectly, hindi masama ang utang. Ang masama ay kapag nangutang ka nang merong intention na hindi na siya bayaran. Doon papasok yung usapang estafa. Pero hindi, wala tayo dito para pag-usapan yan. Hindi tayo tulfo para sumbungan. Pero nandito tayo para i-educate yung mga viewers natin at yung mga followers on social media that again, not all utangs are created equal. Investing is something personal, and we do hope that the combined forces of Federal Land, First Metro Securities, and of course PSBank will provide you with everything you need to know on how we can make this thing more personal. So yun.
All right. So can you please tell us more about this good utang that you're talking about, sir?
Well, absolutely. But before we go there, Ianna, please allow me to officially welcome you to Let's Get Personal, Investing in Personal Loan Hacks Every Filipino Should Know, brought to you by First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation, PSBank, and of course, Federal Land. Again, my name is Andoy. I am the Business Development and Market Education Head of First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. We happen to be the stock brokerage arm of no less than Metro Bank. And we also happen to be the 2017, 2018, 2020, and 2021 best broker in the Philippines with the best online trading platform. Now, quickly to share with you what I've been doing pre-pandemic before this new normal thing came to be. On a day-to-day basis, my regular day normally involves going from campus to campus, office to office, island to island, and sometimes even country to country, talking to Filipinos about anything and everything, investing, saving, budgeting, leadership, management, whatnot. But of course, because of the pandemic, we had to be a little bit more creative. And you, me, PSBank, Federal Land, companies, schools, they had to be a little bit more creative in continuing what we're supposed to do. So for me, that's continuing to spread the word of financial literacy. So I had to take advantage of webinars. I had to take advantage of blog guestings. I had to take advantage of Facebook live sessions like this. I had to take advantage of international roadshows. We've been beefing up our YouTube channel, FirstMetroSec, that is, and that also paved the way to me establishing Let's Invest PH on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube for us to be able to cater to more, reach out to more Filipinos in need of financial literacy. Now, speaking of financial literacy, it's a problem. Sabi nga ni Miss Ann kanina, no, hindi kasi pinag-uusapan, hindi tinuturo sa eskwelahan ang financial literacy, hindi pinag-uusapan sa bahay ang pera. And according to Standard & Poor's, it's true. Because 75% of Filipinos are financially illiterate. On the average, that means 3 out of 4 Filipinos don't know much about growing money. And that's why we're doing things like this. According to the Asian Development Bank, 80% of Filipinos don't budget money. It's something more often than not overlooked. When it comes to budgeting, it allows you to plan things ahead. It provides you with an idea how much are you supposed to spend, how much are you supposed to keep, and how much of your income are you supposed to invest or save. Again, that's a problem because it means that 90% of Filipinos can't afford to save. If 90% of Filipinos can't afford to save, according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, then 97% of Filipinos can't even invest. And that means no matter how many years we've spent studying, no matter how many years we've spent working hard, overtime, reporting during weekends, going the extra mile, SSS still tells us that no matter how hardworking you are, no matter how decorated a student you were before, you still have that 97% chance that by the time it's all said and done, by the time you turn 50, 55, 56, 60, 65, you have that 97% chance of retiring poor. And again, this is according to SSS. All in all, since we're going to talk heavily about investing, about loans, about real estate investments, about your personal space, this also means that, according to Asian Development Bank, 70% of Filipinos don't even have their own dwelling. And again, that's a problem. And it all stems from the fact that we are financially illiterate. We don't know where to start. We don't know whom to ask our questions to. We don't know whom to get in touch with. We don't know how to manage our money. And again, this is exactly why we're doing things like this on a regular basis. But I'm also saying that there's no such thing as the best investment. You have a lot of options. You have deposits, bonds, stocks. You have real estate to your disposal. But when you talk about investment outlets, when you talk about the right investment, there's no such thing as the best. Iba-iba po sila, no? There's no such, not all investments are created equal and not all investors are created equal. Kaya nga, no, it's personal. That's why we're trying to make it personal. Iba-iba po sila because of their risk, return, and time horizon features. The lower the risk, the lower the return, the higher the risk, the higher the potential return. Iba-iba rin po sila when it comes to time horizon. The longer amount of time you let go of your money, the higher it should pay you back. Again, wala pong tama, walang mali, walang best, walang worst. It depends on our personality. Because again, investing is personal. We investment professionals should actually be talking less and listening more, asking more. It's only during speaking engagements like this na kami yung dapat madaldal because we're supposed to educate. But in reality, one-on-one meetings, one-on-one sessions, one-on-one calls, we should actually be listening more, asking more, because we need to get to know you better. We need to get to know you personally on a more personal level because we need to identify your needs, your goals, your limitations, and most importantly, your worries. No? So that being said, I need you to grab a hold of your mobile phones again or your pen and paper because I'm going to ask you 7 very important questions. Etong 7 very important questions na to, hindi ito para sa akin, para to sa inyo. This is intended for me to guide you in order for you to identify what your investor personality is. So 7 tanong, 7 napakasimpleng tanong, walang tama, walang mali, walang better, walang worse na question na answer. The idea here is for me to help you how to identify your very own investor personality. Again, kayo lang po ang makakasagot nito. Pen and paper will do. Your mobile phone's notepad will do. Lagay nyo lang dyan number 1 to 7 because right across one number, you just need to put in 1 letter of your choice. And let's begin with the easiest of them all. Let's begin with question number 1. I am A, 65 years of age and above. B, are you 51 to 64 years of age? Are you C, between 36 to 50 years of age? Or are you B, below 35 years of age? Mga millennials, no? So again, wag na po nating lokohin yung mga sarili natin. Tayo-tayo na lang naman ang sumasagot nito. So, piliin na po natin yung tama. Again, A, B, C, or D. That's it. And that's question number 1. Let's now move on to question number 2. Okay. Question number 2 is, what level of risk and return are you most comfortable with? We talked about risk and return. The lower the risk, the lower the return. The higher the risk, the higher the potential returns. So, pagdating doon, ano yung comfort level mo? Is it A, Andoy, I'm okay with low returns for as long as my principal is protected. So ayaw mong maging magalaw, ayaw mong mabawasan, ayaw mong maging volatile yung movement ng value ng pera mo. So low risk, low return, A. Is it B, Andoy, I can accept minimal risk for stable returns? Because you now perfectly understand that the more risk you embrace, the higher the potential of your money growing over time. So that's B. Is it C? I can accept. Is it C? I can accept moderate risk. So you're now trying to embrace more and more risk because you now better understand that the more risk you embrace, the more risk you take, the higher the potential of your money to grow. Sabi dito, you now accept short-term losses. No? Okay lang sa yung short-term losses because eventually, long-term, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, by the time tapos na tong pandemic na to, you're forward looking. You're looking forward to higher returns. So you're trying to take advantage of now, diba? Or is it D? I am willing to take high risks to achieve the highest potential returns over the long term. So wala kang pakialam sa nangyayari ngayon. You're trying to take advantage of the bad market conditions siguro. You're trying to take advantage of the bad economic shape that the Philippines is currently in. But you're not doing that because just because. You're doing that because you know that a couple of years from now, a year from now, several months from now, we're about to recover. All right. So that's question number 2, and those are your options. Again, best letter of your choice. You just need to choose one letter. All right. Question number 3 is, how long are you willing to have your money invested? Talk about time horizon. Sabi nga natin kanina, the longer the time horizon, the longer amount of time you let go of your money to invest, the higher it should pay you back. But sabi nga natin, hindi yun naman ang perfect. No? It's a personal choice. Is it A, Andoy, 1 year lang? By October 2022, i-withdraw ko yan because meron akong bibiling flat screen TV. It's totally up to you. Yeah, that's your personal choice. Is it 1 to 3? Andoy, by 2024 or by 2025, I'm going to withdraw my investments because I'm going to start, I'm going to use that as my down payment for my federal land condo unit. Again, it's a personal choice. Totally up to you. Is it letter C? More than 3 years, but less than 5 years. Again, a personal choice. The longer amount of time you let go of your money, the higher it should pay you back. Or is it D? Even more than 5 years. All right? So that's question number 3. Again, please choose the best answer. Okay? Number 4, how much do you know about investments? Okay? You're talking about now your exposure. You're talking about now your investment sophistication. Ano na yung alam mo? Ano na yung meron ka, 'di ba? Is it A, minimal? Andoy, I just have savings and then pinaka-complex ko na siguro time deposit and then that's it. Or is it B, low? I know the basics of money market and bonds and I have minimal placements. Is it medium or C? I have existing mutual funds and unit investment trust funds from PSBank or from Metro Bank. Or is it D, high? I trade stocks and I have mutual funds, I have exchange traded funds, I have real estate investment trusts, and I even have real estate properties tucked under my portfolio. Okay? So A, B, C, or D. Question number 5 is, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been investing? Is it A, Andoy, bago-bago lang, newbie lang, noob, less than 1 year? Is it B, I've been doing this over the past 1 to 5 years? Is it C, 6 to 10 years? Or is it D, I've been doing this, I've been investing for more than 10 years now? All right? So again, ngayon mapapansin nyo, no? Madali lang siyang sagutin for as long as you understand yourself. And again, this is intended to make you understand yourself better after after the exam, after the test. Second to the last question, question number 6 is minus your regular expenses, how much of your income can you invest on a regular basis? Every payday, every month end, no? Minus your regular expenses, anong porsyento ng sweldo mo ang willing kang i-invest? Is it A, 10% of my income or less? So kung hindi ka pa nag-i-invest ngayon or kung hindi ka pa ready mag-invest ngayon, choose letter A, 10% or less. 0 is less than 10%. Is it B, 11 to 20% of my income? Is it C, 21 to 30% of my income? Or is it D, more than 30% of my income? Again, guys, wala pong tama at walang maling sagot, no? This is an investor personality assessment. At the end of the session, I'm going to help you identify your very own investor personality. And then that's it.
Office ka pa.
All right? Next question, last question. Question number 7 is, okay, question number 7, how would you feel if the value of your investment goes down in the short term? Anong mararamdaman mo kung yung ininvest mo ngayon, ininvest mo noong 2018 or 2019, bumagsak during the pandemic 2020 and 2021 included? Okay? Is it A, Andoy, ang mararamdaman ko, hindi ko papayagan yan. Any principal loss is not acceptable to me. So again, this is me trying to assess your reaction to certain situations. Is it B, Andoy, I'd be very concerned and I would monitor my investments until it recovers. So ibig sabihin nito, imbes na nanonood ka ng Netflix sa gabi, kagaya ni Miss Anne, no? To help her relax after a tiring day at work. Hindi ka nanonood ng Netflix, nagmo-monitor ka ng investments mo, tinitingnan mo, bakit ganito? Ano yung news? Ano yung dahilan? Bakit hindi pa nakaka-recover yung investments mo? Na nasa-stress ka, nape-pressure ka ng hindi naman dapat. Is it C? It wouldn't be too much of a concern for as long as I get a positive return eventually. So you're forward-looking to the time the economy recovers, the stock market recovers. Or is it D? I am a long-term investor, Andoy. I wouldn't be concerned because I understand that high risks are associated with high returns. So ibig sabihin, okay lang, tanggap ko yan, naiintindihan ko. And this is a very important thing. No? This is the most important thing that investors should know. You should understand what you're getting yourself into. When you do that, you're making informed investment decisions. And when you make informed investment decisions, hindi ka basta-basta kakabahan, hindi ka basta-basta matatakot. Because again, the assumption there is naiintindihan mo kung ano yung pinasok mo. And sabi ko nga, no, the promise here is I'm going to help you identify your investor personality. So for every A answer, bigyan nyo po yung sarili nyo ng 1 point. Sa bawat A na sagot, bigyan nyo yung sarili nyo ng 1 point. For every B answer, give yourselves 2 points. For every C answer, give yourselves 3 points. For every D answer, give yourselves 4 points. Tapos, i-summarize, i-sum lang po natin sila, i-add lang po natin sila. Question, yung sagot natin sa questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, i-total po natin. Okay? Tapos, kapag na-total na po natin, alright, every A answer 1 point, B2, C3, D4, eto na po ang ibig sabihin nun. Okay? Kung ang total nyo po ay 7 points or less, below 7 points, ibig sabihin po nun, you are a conservative investor. Okay? Diyan muna tayo. Wag muna nating pag-usapan kung ano ba ang characteristics ng isang conservative na investor. Next, if your total score is somewhere between 8 to 10 points, okay, 8 to 10 lang, that means you're a moderately conservative investor. Okay? Sabi nga natin, let's get personal. This is your personality we're talking about. If your total score is somewhere between 11 to 15 points, that makes you a balanced investor. And if your total score is somewhere between 16 to 21 points, that makes you a moderately aggressive investor. 22 points and up, that makes you an aggressive investor. Okay? So ngayon, hindi po dahil aggressive investor ka, panalo ka na ng prize galing sa amin. Sabi nga natin, walang worst, walang best investment, wala ring worst at wala ring best investor personality. Kanya-kanya po tayong comfort level. And we have to respect that. What makes a conservative investor is the fact that they value peace of mind. Gusto nilang makatulog sa gabi knowing that their investments are safe and sound. Pero sabi nga natin, the lower the risk, the lower the potential return. So they just want to protect the value of their money because they want to avoid fluctuations, and then that's it. A moderately conservative investor is someone that is someone who's looking to get higher income. So parang gusto niyang graduate to the next level. Gusto niyang and for them to do that, for them to graduate to the next level, they need to start putting their money to more intermediate outlets, mas komplikado, mas complex, mas hardworking investment outlets. But again, the higher the potential return, the higher the potential risk. But that's okay because you are now ready to accept minimal amount of risk. Okay? One step at a time, one level at a time. Balanced investors. Pag-usapan naman natin anong mga balanced investors, they are now looking for stability and growth. Gusto nilang kumita yung pera nila, gusto nilang kumikita ng coupon payments, gusto nilang kumikita ng dividendo. So paunti-unti, nagdadagdag sila ng investment outlets. They're starting to diversify their portfolios. They want to start accepting larger amount of risks. No? Moderately aggressive investors, they're now okay with unsure returns. Okay lang sa kanila kung hindi sila siguradong kikita ng 2021. Ng 2022, they're okay because they are investing in 2020, 2021, 2022 for 2030, for 2031, for 2032, 10 years from now. Because they just want to grow their money. And they're now prepared to embrace extra volatility. Now, what makes an investor aggressive? Wala po yan sa style ng pananamit, wala po yan sa genre ng music, no? Ang ibig sabihin, kapag aggressive investor ka, okay ka na nalulugi ka, pansamantala. Months, 1 year, couple of years, that's okay. Because you just want to get the highest possible returns. And the fact that you're trying to take advantage of bad market conditions, that's what makes you an aggressive investor. In fact, okay nga sa'yo na bad market condition. Okay sa'yo na may bad news tungkol sa stock market because it allows you to invest in stocks cheap. It allows you to accumulate more stocks, more of your favorite stocks cheap. Because you know that months from now, you know that years from now, you know by 2022 being an election year, they'll most likely rebound. All right? So ngayon, ang ibig sabihin niyan, not all investors are created equal. Tama nga, no? Let's get personal. Ang ibig sabihin din ito, merong perfect investment match. If you're a conservative investor, then pwede deposits muna, money market. If you're a moderately conservative investor, you may now try venturing into bond investing, bonds, bond funds. Balanced investor, may konti kang money market, meron kang konting bonds, and then meron ka rin pa konti-konting binibili na equity funds, index funds. You're a moderately aggressive investor, pwede ka nang pumasok sa equity funds, index funds, direct stocks. And for aggressive investors, dapat meron ka na lahat yan. And then, pwede ka nang mag-venture into real estate investing. Because again, meron ka ng vast experience, you're now a savvy investor, at naiintindihan mo na yung ins and outs of investing. Which is again, very important because you know that you are making informed investment decisions. So ngayon, when you talk about investor at investment matching, kailangan rin nating pag-usapan ang investment at investment goals matching. So if you're a conservative investor, that means you can place your money in deposits because it can satisfy your short-term goals. Yan yung perfect tool for your short-term investments. If you're a moderately conservative investor, you may use bonds to invest your money para sa medium-term goals mo. If you're a balanced investor, pwede mong gamitin ang combination ng money market at bonds at pakonti-konting stocks for your mid to long-term goals. If you're a moderately aggressive investor, pwede mong gamitin yung bulk ng investments mo in stocks for your long-term goals. And for aggressive investors, yung combination ng lahat ng yan together with your growing portfolio in real estate investment trusts for your longer-term goals. So again, dito pa lang nakikita na natin, no? Parang wala pong perfect investment outlet, walang best investment personality, depende po yan lahat sa atin. At ito po, yan po ang dahilan ba't namin ginawa itong investor personality test na to. For us to better help you and for you to better identify yourselves as an investor, which thereby helps you identify the best investment outlet for you and for your goals, whether it be short-term, medium-term, or long-term goals. No? So ngayon, sabi ko nga, this is the ultimate goal of every Filipino. Gusto nila lahat mag-save, gusto nila lahat mag-invest, whether bonds yan, mutual fund yan, stocks yan. But ultimately, gusto nating palaguin ang pera natin for us to be able to afford our very own personal space, our very own home, sarili nating real estate property. No? So yan yung nandiyan sa pinakataas. Pero nandiyan siya sa pinakataas, hindi dahil siya yung pinakamagandang outlet. Nandiyan siya sa pinakataas kasi isa siya sa pinaka-sought after asset, no? Because of its high demand. Sabi nga natin, parami ng parami ang mga tao sa Pilipinas, parami ng parami ang mga graduate na nagtatrabaho, nagtatayo ng kanilang mga negosyo para mag-ipon para sa sarili nilang bahay. No? Ang taas ng demand for real estate. Pag tinanong mo lahat ng tao, kapag nagpa-menti question tayo sa lahat ng tao sa Pilipinas, gusto niyo bang magkaroon ng sariling bahay at lupa? 100% of Filipinos will most likely say yes because of high demand. The problem is, napakababa ng supply. Hindi po nadadagdagan ang real estate property sa mundo. Sa village nyo, for example, pakonti na ng pakonti ang bakanteng lote kasi parami na yung mga kapitbahay nyo. And that's why pataas ang presyo. Law of supply and demand. High demand, low supply. That's why yung mga magulang natin, magulang ng mga millennials, no, mga lolo't lola natin, nung unang panahon, okay lang kung magpapatayo sila ng bungalow. Pero ngayon, pinaka-practical na, magpatayo ka ng multi-level structure, two-story house and lot, no? Minsan ginagawa pa nating roof deck yung bubong ng second floor natin because we'd like to make the most out of the real estate property. Again, because ang mahal ng real estate property, ang mahal ng lupa. That's why developers are now into condominium towers because it's able to cater to the increasing demand. It's able to accommodate more and more people, more and more Filipino families. Makikita nga natin, even some of the huge developers in the Philippines are even converting bodies of water to real estate development. Kasi nga, wala nang malalaking real estate, wala nang malalaking land bank na available sa Pilipinas. No? So you have SM Mall of Asia, you have SM Seaside Cebu, you have Mall of the Rojas Boulevard area. Pagdating sa Cebu, ang dami ring mga reclamation projects doon. Because again, you have very little land bank to work with. And yun nga, pagdating sa real estate development, marami kang mga problemang haharapin eh. Usually ang mga hindrances diyan sa mga investors, Andoy, it's very expensive. So napag-usapan na natin 'yan. I need to factor in the concentration risk. I need to factor in liquidity risk. I need to factor in maintenance, no? Hindi forever uso itong gantong style. Baka pag anak ko na yung may-ari ng bahay, kailangan niyang ipa-renovate. Kailangan kong magpa-insure para sa baha, para sa earthquake, no, acts of nature. So those things involve money. But the most important thing here is if you feel like you still can't afford to buy your very own personal space, andiyan naman yung access to capital. Ibig sabihin nun, pwede ka namang mangutang. Okay? So sabi ko nga, hindi naman masama. Hindi masama ang utang for as long as you know what you're getting yourself into. Okay? So what I'm trying to say here is, let me now teach you, let me now tell you that not all utangs are created equal. I keep on saying that phrase, no? Not all investments are created equal. Not all investors are created equal. And ultimately, not all utangs are created equal. A good kind of utang is a kind of utang wherein benefits outweigh the cost. Mas napapakinabangan mo yung bagay na ipinangutang mo kumpara sa cost of money na ibinayad mo sa bangko. No? Kasi because meron tayong tinatawag na cost of borrowing. Kapag nangutang ka sa bangko, meron kang ibinabalik na mas malaking halaga sa bangko dahil sa interest expense or interest charge. It's a good kind of utang if it increases the value of your money. Nangutang ka dahil gusto mong palaguin yung pera mo, gusto mong magtayo ng sari-sari store, it's a good kind of utang. Nangutang ka dahil at nakakuha ka ng isang asset wherein its lifespan is greater than the term of the loan. Nangutang ka, housing loan, 10 years sa PSBank. After 10 years, nabayaran mo na siya fully sa PSBank, pero nagagamit mo pa rin yung bahay at lupa na yon. Nagagamit mo pa rin at pwede mo pa siyang ipamana sa next generation. Pwede siyang maging ancestral house. Kasi kapag merong sira, you make sure that it's well maintained, no? So it's a good kind of utang if you get to acquire an asset with a lifespan better than the term of the loan. Again, good kind of utang. Another example is, for example, a PSBank multipurpose loan for you to be able to afford investing. Nangutang ka sa PSBank, nag-loan ka sa PSBank para makapag-start kang mag-invest sa stocks. That's a good kind of utang. A good kind of utang is a PSBank personal loan. For example, for you to buy a laptop. Bili ka ng laptop para sa mga anak mo. Para sa Mondays to Fridays, gagamitin nila for homeschooling. Or kapag nag-work from home ka, gagamitin mo yon. And sa weekends, gagamitin mo for you to sell items online for your online business. That's a good kind of utang. A good kind of utang is, again, a PSBank home loan for you to start embracing the responsibilities of home ownership para hindi na nasasayang yung pera mo sa rent, para napupunta siya sa monthly amortization, sa mortgage mo sa bahay, no? So again, this is a good kind of utang. Essentially, money, growing money by way of deposits, by way of investing in bonds, by way of stock market investing, by way of real estate investment trusts, money making more money, that's a good kind of utang. Okay, and ultimately, pwede, no? For you to be able to eventually afford investing in a real estate property from federal land. But sabi nga natin, not all utangs are created equal. You still deserve. You also deserve to know ano naman, Andoy, ang mga bad utang. Okay, hindi lahat good. Meron ding bad types of utang. Ito yung sinasabi namin ni Ms. Ann kanina, no? Depende yan sa purpose. Bad kind of utang is a loan na wala kang clear plan. Saan mo ba gagamitin yan? Nangutang ka dahil naka-receive ka ng SMS na walang collateral, easy approval. Sige, na-approve ka, pero saan mo gagamitin? Wala kang plano at wala kang clear source of repayment. Paano ko babayaran to? Nakautang ka lang ng pera, masaya ka na, but it doesn't stop there. Again, it's a responsibility. It's a financial and a legal responsibility. It's an obligation. So, huwag kang mangungutang just because you have requirements. Huwag kang mangungutang just because gusto mong magkaroon ng pera. Dapat sigurado ka na meron kang paglalaanan ng pera na inutang mo at meron kang clear source of repayment. A bad kind of utang is a car loan just for you to make other people think that you're rich. Nag-car loan ka para lang ipagyabang on social media, para makita ng friends mo, para makita ng batchmates mo, may bagong views si Andoy. Pero hindi mo alam kung paano mo siya babayaran. Kaya picture ka lang ng picture. That's a bad kind of utang. A bad kind of utang is, for example, linking your Lazada or your Shopee or your Zalora account, your credit card na gagamitin mo for you to make expenses, online shopping expenses for things that you don't need. Hindi po masamang mag-online shopping, hindi po masamang gumastos, pero syempre, bilhin lang natin kung ano yung kailangan natin. Because again, money is a finite resource. A bad kind of utang is basically money, borrowing money, pretending to have money. Pinagyayabang mo na meron kang pera na inutang mo, pero again, that's a bad kind of utang kasi wala kang plano eh. Wala kang plano at you need to do that. You need to make sure that when you borrow money, again, you have a clear purpose and you have a clear source of repayment. All right? Again, it's a bad kind of utang if the cost outweighs the benefit. So kabaligtaran, if it decreases the value of your money, because again, you need to understand that there's cost to borrowing money. At yun ang tinatawag nating interest or interest charge. And then if the term of the loan is greater than the item's lifespan. So yan, it's bad kind of utang. All right? So what I'm trying to say here is, if you feel like hindi ka pa handa sa responsibilidad na mangutang, but you'd like to start working on your dream goals. If you feel like you're not yet ready to take on the responsibilities of borrowing money, but you feel like pwede na, no? Pwede ko nang pagtrabahuhan, pwede ko nang pagtrabahuhin ang pera ko. Then investing could be the answer. And one of the more popular ways for people to invest, especially ngayon, is by way of stock market investing, wherein you buy publicly ownership into publicly listed corporations. Kailangan mo lang dyan is an active stock brokerage account. And FirstMetroSec happens to be the best, no? In the Philippines. It allows you to buy or own close to 300 stocks. Pero kung hirap kang mamili from 300, pwede kang mamili sa the best of the best or PSEI, blue chip stocks. And then you get to earn from two ways, from price appreciation and dividends. At pinakamaganda dito is stock market investing is something that you can do for as little as 5,000 pesos. No? It allows you to own a business without having to run a business, and it allows you to co-own businesses and co-own the brands that you believe in, and outsource the decision making to the brilliant management teams. No? So sila yung gumagawa ng decision for you but when you start investing in stocks. Again, for as little as 5,000 pesos. Meron din tayong option na mutual fund. When you talk about mutual funds, if wala kang idea sa stock market investing at gusto mong i-outsource ang investment mo sa personal fund manager mo, you have mutual funds. Again, it's legit. It's established under 26 or 2629. Dito makikita mo kung sino-sino yung mga registered investment professionals like me at registered mutual fund companies at www.sec.gov.ph, Securities Exchange Commission. It allows instant investment diversification. It provides you with access to high-income investments. It's very liquid. Ang pinakamaganda dito sa ating mga investors, ang kinikita po natin are exempt from capital gains tax, especially if we invest in mutual funds. Sabi nga natin, you get to outsource decision making to your very own personal fund manager. At kagaya ng stocks, 5,000 pesos lang po pwede kang mag-umpisang mag-invest sa mutual funds. Meron din po tayong combination ng stocks at mutual funds. Ang tawag natin dyan, exchange-traded fund. And in the Philippines, nag-iisa lang po yan. It's our very own First Metro Exchange-Traded Fund. An ETF is budget-friendly. It's super simple. It's tradable. It combines the best features of stocks and mutual funds. And you can start investing in FM ETF for as little as 1,500 pesos. Sabi nga natin, no, a very, very budget-friendly. 5,000 pesos stocks, 5,000 pesos mutual funds, 1,500 pesos exchange-traded fund. And then, itong exchange-traded fund na to, it makes sure that you are investing in the best of the best companies in the Philippines every step of the way. Pero kapag binili mo kasi individually yung blue chip stocks natin, you need to shell out mga 700 to about 800,000 pesos. And that's a lot. Hindi lahat ng tao kaya ng 700 to 800,000 pesos, no. So what it does is yung blue chip stocks na yan, binibili ng FM ETF, inilalagay sa isang basket. That basket is something that we call FM ETF, and FM ETF again is something you can buy for as little as 1,500 pesos, no. And lastly, pinaka-importante sa lahat, since we're talking about real estate investing, we're talking about personal space, kung hindi mo pa afford bumili ng sarili mong bahay at lupa, kung hindi mo pa afford bumili ng sarili mong condo unit, pwede kang mag-invest sa real estate investment trusts. It's a combination of real estate properties and mutual funds because it allows you to co-own office buildings, malls, hotels, condos, hospitals, and parking lots. Any real estate property na income generating pwede mong maging pagmamay-ari. Sabi nga nila, no, sabi nga natin kanina, ang real estate investing mahal, kailangan mong mangutang, kailangan mong pag-isipan ng maintenance, concentration, liquidity risk. Lahat po ng problema na yan nasusolve ng real estate investment trust because real estate investment trust requires very minimal capital, kaya hindi mo na kailangang mangutang. It provides you with instant diversification, no need to spend on maintenance and insurance because it's something taken care of by your property manager, your fund manager, and your admin manager because again, it's professionally managed. It's very liquid. Guaranteed po ang dividends ng real estate investment trust. 90% of their income should be declared, should be distributed to us investors sa pamamagitan ng dividendo at for as little as what, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 pesos pwede mong bilhin ang mga real estate investment trusts na listed sa stock exchange ngayong mga panahong ito. No? So ngayon, sabi nga natin, kapag bumili ka ng real estate properties, buildings, malls, no, hospitals, condo units, you need to spend billions of pesos. But this time around, since hindi pa natin afford at hindi pa tayo handang mangutang, well, pwede tayong mag-invest sa kanila sa pamamagitan ng real estate investment trust for as little as 2,500 pesos. No? So another important thing I'd like you to understand is these are some of the ways, no? Stock market investing, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, real estate investment trust. These are just some of the many ways wherein you can make your money work harder. Kasi unlike us, tayo, mga tao, sabi nga natin, tao lang, napapagod tayo, kailangan nating magpahinga, kailangan nating mag-relax, kailangan nating, minsan nagkakasakit pa tayo, pero hindi ganun ang nangyayari sa pera eh. Kapag pinagtrabaho natin yung pera natin, our money does not need to sleep. Our money does not need to relax. Our money does not require breaks. Our money does not get sick. It just keeps on working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's one of the investing hacks I'd like you to unlock. Unlock the true potential of your money by saving, by budgeting, and eventually by investing your money. All right. And again, FirstMetroSec allows you to do that. FirstMetroSec allows you to invest in stocks, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, and real estate investment trusts by just opening one account. Mutual funds from ALFM, First Metro Asset Management, Phil Equity, ATR Asset Management, and even Sun Life, without having to open accounts with them. You just need to open a FirstMetroSec account. At ang kagandahan dito, pag nag-invest ka sa mutual funds, sabi nga natin kanina, walang capital gains tax. But when you invest in mutual funds through First Metro Securities as FundSmart, pati yung sales loads, transaction fees, and commissions, zero na rin. So it's very investor-friendly. Kung hindi ka marunong mag-technical analysis, our system can do technical analysis for you because we have an artificial intelligence in our platform. Kung wala kang time to do fundamental analysis, our research team will do the fundamental analysis for you and share our insights daily, weekly, and monthly for free. We gain access to the most advanced trading platform in the Philippines, conditional orders, buy on breakout, sell on breakdown, cut loss points, conditional orders, all made possible by FirstMetroSec. Pwede ka rin mag-automate ng investing mo because of our voluntary investment program facility, something that you can find online. No? Funding, sobrang dali. Metrobank, PSBank, MetroRemit online. We have our funding partners, Click by 7-Eleven, na siya po yung sponsor ng grand prize natin mamaya na 500 pesos worth of 7-Eleven e-voucher. So stay tuned for that. We have streaming webinars in our YouTube channel. We have our Viber community. So you may scan the QR code to join our Viber community. Nasa 3,000 plus members na ngayon. We also happen to have our very own Facebook community na ngayon, if I'm told, close to 100,000 members na. No? So please do join our official Viber and Facebook communities. Kung meron kayong screenshots dito, kung meron kayong mga magandang natutunan mula sa webinar natin na Let's Get Personal, you might want to share them sa Facebook community para may matuto rin from you. And then if you'd like to start your investing journey, sobrang dali lang because everything's online, paperless, and it's something that you can do 24/7. All you need to do is to visit www.firstmetrosec.com.ph, complete the online form, and upload your documents online. Again, sobrang hassle-free, 10 to 15 minutes and then you're good. As a bonus, bukod dun sa prize natin mamaya sa quiz show, as a bonus, lahat po ng attendees natin ngayon on Facebook and even on Zoom, when you open your FirstMetroSec account and when you get asked, how did you learn about us? Click seminar or event and type in our exclusive event code, Let's Get Personal. Okay? So anong value nito? Anong ibig sabihin nito? When you open your FirstMetroSec account and when you get to successfully use the event code, Let's Get Personal, exempted na po kayo sa video call requirement. So mas mabilis po ang pag-open at pag-activate ng account when you use the exclusive event code Let's Get Personal. Okay? Again, www.firstmetrosec.com.ph, complete the online form, and then upload the documents online. Sobrang dali. No? So ngayon, before I let you go, before I turn you over back to Ianna, please let me remind you again that not all utangs are created equal. Merong maganda, merong hindi magandang klaseng utang, but at the end of the day, it's totally up to you. No? Ikaw ang nagdi-dictate nun kung ano ba ang purpose ng pag-utang mo. At ang kagandahan nun, hindi pa tayo natatapos dito because our partners from PSBank, of course, our very own Miss Anne Ilagan will talk a lot about PSBank's products and services. At again, I'm here to also remind you that if you keep on spending and spending and spending money, you're going to keep on losing and losing and losing money. But if you keep on investing and investing and investing money, no matter how small the amount is, for as long as you do it on a regular basis, then you're going to find out that eventually, in the long run, you're going to find out that your money is going to keep on growing and growing and growing and growing, which brings you one step closer and closer and closer to your dream goals. All right, so that's it for me. For anything and everything FirstMetroSec, www.firstmetrosec.com.ph. Please do like us on Facebook, join our Facebook community, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Mamaya po, meron tayong Q&A portion, but for personal questions and speaking engagement invites, I'm an email away, Beltran@firstmetrosec.com.ph, and I'm also on social media as Andoy Beltran. And again, I'm the guy behind Let's Invest PH on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. So that being said, thank you so much for the opportunity. And I now turn the floor over back to Ianna. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Andoy, for that very informative discussion. Actually, ngayon ko lang nalaman no, that I am a conservative investor. So, to you guys na nag-take ng quiz, what kind of investor are you? Can you please type that in the chat box para makita natin? Ayan. So, next naman, we will be talking about loans, personal loans. And for that, we invited PSBank because who better discuss it to you than Miss Anne Ilagan herself. All right, so Miss Anne?
Thank you, Ianna, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is feeling good today. Allow me to share first my slides so you can see what I'm going to talk about. All right. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with personal loans. That's the reason why you're here. But for those, personal loan is actually a type of loan where there's no collateral. No, it does not require a collateral security, and it's actually offered with minimal documentation. So you can just use the funds from your loan for any legitimate financial need. And like any other loan, you must, of course, never forget to repay in accordance with the agreed terms that you have with your lender or your bank. Now, these days, there are a lot, I'm sure you're seeing in your social media, a lot of offers about personal loan. I'm seeing it also on my own, no, the social media. You get text messages, you get emails inviting you to apply for a loan and then see if you can get at a very low rate and at the terms that you, the loan term that you would require, which you would want. But before you do that, you need to let me give you tips first, no? Before you decide on taking out a loan, a personal loan. Now, Andoy is correct. A loan is to a certain extent can be an investment. The difference is that when you take out a loan and you use it for purchase or for getting something, you're already enjoying at first hand that which you intended the loan for, and then you'll repay it later. Unlike in the regular investment na sinasabi ni Andoy, you will get it in dividends later on. Ito kasi, at the onset, sa simula pa lang, may enjoy mo na kasi binili mo na no? Binayaran mo na, or yung intent mo na makukuha mo na yung fruits ng yung intent mo for the loan at the very beginning. But of course, you have to know why you're taking out a loan. Now, in case of personal loan, these are the things that I suggest that you ask yourself first before you decide to apply for a personal loan. First is, what is your purpose for the loan? Para saan ba talaga yung utangin mo? Is it because you need it for something, for paying off something, etc.? Or is it because you just want to buy a large ticket item, maglo-load ka, tapos bayaran mo? Wala namang masama your reason on the reason why you're taking out a personal loan. What's important is that, is it really something that you need right now? Is it something that that will benefit you right now and towards when you're trying to repay your loan? Next is, can you afford it? How much can you borrow? Magkano bang gusto mong utangin? Because sometimes there are personal loans out there that can offer you up to 2 million pesos, no, of loanable amount. But is it necessary for you na sagarin mo yun to 2 million? And if you decide to do that, realistically, can you pay it back? Do you have enough capacity to pay on a monthly basis so that you can sustain in paying back your monthly payments? And then look at your debt ratio as well. Tingnan mo, magkano bang kinikita mo sa isang buwan? Magkano din ang ginagastos mo to sustain your lifestyle, yung mga pangangailangan mo? Idagdag mo pa doon yung pwede mo maging monthly payments doon sa utang mo, may maiiwan pa ba sa'yo in case you need money on the side? So normally, when we assess, banks assess, we look at your debt ratio. Minimum na tinitingnan natin that ratio is 30%. Meaning, out of all of, based on your monthly income or your what you earn on a monthly basis, babawas natin dyan yung mga expenses mo in a household, personal expenses, which you can compute, and then ibawas mo din dyan yung monthly payments mo dun sa loan, ang maiiwan, may 30% ba nung kinikita mo ang maiiwan? And of course, the 30% you can use for to set aside for emergency purposes, or you can set it aside for investing in FirstMetroSec with Andoy. Now, next is, did you take a look at the loan terms? No? Look at it carefully. How much is the interest rate? How long is the term? What are the requirements needed so that that's required by your bank or your lender? Are there any other fees involved? So these things you have to take a look at. It's very important before you take out a loan, and something that we always suggest, please research well. Tingnan nyo, ikumpara nyo. It's good if you do comparables. No? It's good if you rate shop, because it will give you a better idea on what you're getting into. Next is, what's the benefits that this type of loan is providing you? For example, the ease in applying. Mabilis bang mag-apply? Madali lang ba mag-apply? Are there online facilities which will allow you to apply for the loan? How fast is the approval? Is it quick? Is it will it for example, the time frame that you're setting up for your loan, that when you need the funds, is your lender capable of giving you the right time frame for it in terms of approval, booking, and release of your loan proceeds? And for example, the ease of paying back. Are there enough payment channels? Meaning, can you pay it online? Can you pay it through your mobile mobile phones as opposed to over the counter? Can you pay through GCash? Can you pay through 7-Eleven? So are these channels available for you? And then the fifth one that you need to take a look at is customer service. I think this is something that sometimes we do not we don't really consider much, because nalula na tayo, ang bilis ng application, ang bilis ng approval, nabigyan tayo ng pera. But what about the after-sales service of your lender or your bank? How good is the customer service? What if nagkaroon ka ng problema along the way? What if, for example, you encountered a hiccup, a challenge in your finances, and then nahirapan ka magkabol? Is your bank willing to listen to you and help you out, or work out a loss mitigation process for you so that maka-catch up pa sa loan mo? Are they easy to contact? Once you get a loan, after nakakuha ng loan, may sumasagot ba sa'yo kapag nag-i-email ka or tumatawag ka or nag-chat ka sa kanila? Are your concerns addressed fast? Kasi sometimes ito yung nagkukulang, no? And actually, we experienced it recently when during the pandemic. Remember, we had two laws that were passed way back in 2020 called Baro 1 and Baro 2, where banks were told to give moratorium to loan borrowers. Moratorium meaning, i-delay natin yung payments ng tig to 2 months at in 2 certain periods and then apply it automatically. Hindi namin sisingilin si kliyente ng 2 months, 2 months, no? Kasi dalawang beses siya nangyari, no? For borrow 1, 2 months, and then borrow 2 months. Now, towards the end of the year and this year, nagkaroon ng problema because, of course, maniningil si bank ulit doon sa, if kinuha mo yung dalawang moratorium na yun, no? Buong 4 months ng loan mo, kahit na patapos ka na sa loan mo. And then of course, yung mga charges din doon, yung interest rate na hindi na collect ni client, ni bank rather, during the time na hindi ka namin hininga ng bayad. So, there were some na nagkaroon ng problema as regards sino kausapin, paano ayusin, etc. And nagkaroon ng collections calls and then reminders. So, is your bank good enough as regards to customer service where hindi ka binigyan ng worries, or kung nagkaroon ka man ng issue that you raised to your bank, na-address agad? Okay. So those are the 5 things that I hope you would want to ask yourself and ascertain before you take out a personal loan. Now, what are the usual reasons why people take out a loan? First is they want to consolidate their debts, meaning marami silang credit card bills, mataas yung interest rate, so gagamitin nila yung personal loan nila to consolidate it with just one lender at a much lower monthly payment kasi pinag-isa mo na lang siya. So that's actually a good reason. Next is if there's an unforeseen expense, especially these days na nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, there could be medical expenses, there could be like, for example, household repairs, no? Nasira yung roofing mo, or nasira yung kotse, wala kang enough na set aside para mabayaran. Or for example, akala mo ito lang yung kailangan mong bayaran, mas malaki pala, no, doon sa ina-expect mo. Next is home improvements. For those who are lucky enough to able to afford a home, especially a very good federal land home, there are some who would want to improve on the aesthetics of their property. Like they would want to improve or buy appliances, sofas, beds, no, air conditioning, and all that. So to improve the quality of their stay in their houses. Others would also want to improve on how the house look. Like there could be some divisions in the house that they would want to put down and they want to remove. So they would take out a personal loan so that they can use it for the improvement or the renovation. Others would also get like for example, medyo nagkulang sila sa down payment, gustong-gusto na talaga nilang mag-move din sa bahay, kulang na yung down payment, they would take out a personal loan to cover the difference in their down payment for the house so that they could already move in, yung mga tinatawag nating RFO, or ready for occupancy ng mga properties, and then enjoy already ahead of time right now yung kanilang mga bahay. Next is those who are looking for large purchases, especially yung minention I think ni Andoy kanina na like electronic devices, no, that are needed by your children for school. Nagkaroon tayo ng maraming ganon, a reason for people taking out personal loans. They need to buy more than one. For some who have got two or more children, they needed to buy laptops, no, for the kids individually, or tablets individually, so that they can still enjoy their online classes. So may mga ganong large purchases, or those who would want to have like a home office within their condo kasi work from home sila, so they would get like large purchases, get like a desk, or a good PC, no? A personal computer for the desktop. Next is other reasons for tuition fees. No, if the parents, if there's they have several children and medyo mahal ang tuition fees in these days, for them to catch up with the fees and ensure na hindi sila magkaroon ng surcharges, they would take out a personal loan and pay it off at a later date. So buuin na lang bayad yung kanilang school ng mga anak nila using their personal loan, and then of course repay it to the lender later on. Then next is for PSBank is quite unique is conditional business funds. Si PSBank kasi our flexi loan, our flexi personal loan, you can actually avail of the loan to terms. For example, you can do like a long term, meaning fixed term, or you can do revolving. So some business people, they make use of it kasi pwede nilang ma-encash yung kanilang personal loan using the flexi card, no, flexi personal loan card, go to the ATM, take out the cash, and then they can set it up like revolving, or they can also set it up like a term loan, and they would determine, that would help them determine on when they would need the amounts. Now, if they are able to pay it back, bumabalik kasi yan doon sa available credit line for them to use. So eventually, once na slowly na pay off na nila yung like a portion of their term, no, kung term loan yung ginamit nila, then the amount that they're able to pay off towards the principal, they can reuse. Okay? So hindi na kailangan mag-apply or hindi na kailangan mag-submit ng another application form. So for PSBank, quite unique, no additional these funds. Although just a tip for those who will put there on your loan application that you wish that your loan purpose is for business, the bank, virtually your lenders, will charge for the documentary stamps. May require kasi na doc stamps kapag nilagay dyan is a business loan. Now, how much is a doc stamp? The doc stamp is 1 peso and 50 cents per 200 pesos ng amount to your loan. So for example, if you got approved for a loan of 250,000 for business purposes, ang magiging charge niyan na babayaran mo, additional dun sa fee, is doc stamps of 1,875. So if you don't want to pay that, huwag mo na lang ilagay siguro na for business purposes. You can do home improvement, large purchase, or for tuition fee para hindi ka ma-charge ng doc stamps. Now, can you afford the loan? Now, I think that's the next important question before you take out a personal loan. Majority of the lenders now, especially banks, we have loan calculators online. No, you can go to our websites and check and help calculate how much would be your resulting monthly payments if you choose a certain term and a certain loan amount. So for example, in PSBank, no, if you go to our website and you can search for the online loan amortization calculator, you can actually calculate for your flexi loan. Just choose personal flexi loan in the type of loan calculator you want to use. You can actually calculate how much would your monthly payment would be. For example, in this example I'm showing to you, if you want to do a fixed monthly installment for 36 months or 3 years, then your loanable amount is 250,000 pesos. You can compute it. Your resulting monthly payment will be 11,319. So are you capable of paying it off monthly in the next 36 months? But of course, the figures there are indicative lang. It will be recomputed because there could be other things that be considered. Next is, for example, in our flexi loan, you can also choose to do revolving, meaning para siyang credit card, no? Ilalagay mo revolving, monthly payments mo lang is the minimum amount due. So if you want to pay at least the minimum required amount as a revolving, and then your loanable amount is 250,000, it will then compute for you your monthly payments until such a time na ma-pay off mo yung buong 250,000. So meron tayong ganon. Now, let me give you first, to elucidate it further, no, to give you a much more clear idea, I'll be sharing with you what an amortization schedule for personal loan looks like. So here's an example. Hindi to PSBank format, I got it from a different lender. Buti na lang may nagpahiram sa akin. But this is actually a real personal loans amortization schedule. Now, before you take out a loan, I suggest that you ask them, or you use their calculator to check kung magkano ba talaga ang ibabalik mo if you take out a loan. So for example, in this case, for this type of loan, ang niloan niya is 300,000. Tapos, babayaran niya in 3 years time, no? And then yung rate na binigay sa kanya ng kanyang bangko is 1.75%. So if you compute it for an add-on rate of 63% for the entire year, meaning yan yung rate na idadagdag nila o i-charge nila sa loan mo sa buong 3 taon na yon, ang ibabalik niya monthly doon sa kanyang loan is around 13,000 pesos. So, yun yung mangyayari. So, kung ganun yung term ng loan mo at 13,000 yung babayaran mo monthly, kaya mo ba? Afford mo ba? Realistically, based on sa income mo ngayon. The next is, ang importante, tingnan mo sa ilalim. There is always there a computation of how much you will take out, diba? 300,000. How much yung mapupunta sa bangko, i-charge nila sa'yo para based on your interest rate, monthly interest rate, and then magkano buong-buo ang ibabalik mo sa bangko in 3 years' time, sa loob ng 3 taon. Now, if you look at it here, and although Truth in Lending Act kasi requires all banks to show all of this to the clients, if you really look at it this way, sa 300,000 pesos niya na inutang sa loob ng 3 taon at 1.75%, ibabalik niya sa bangko at the end of her loan for around 488,099 pesos, meaning 489,000 pesos approximately. So technically, ang kinita ni bangko sa kanya is 188,999. That's roughly 2/3 nung inutang niya. So more than 50% sa loob ng 3 taon na yun, ang binigay niya balik kay bangko. Are you willing to invest in that much for the purpose of your loan? No? So pag-isipan natin yan. Kasi mahal masyado yan. Dapat in-invest ko na lang, which is tama. Kinausap ko na lang si Andoy para mas malaki yung kita ko, which is tama. But of course, depending din yun sa need mo at that time. So kaya nga importante, ano ba talaga yung purpose? Kaya ka nag-take out ng loan. Alright? So yan yung things that we should look at as well. Now, I think one of you asked earlier about how much is the current market rate for personal loans and home loan. I can actually give it to you. Very lucky. I think si Miss Maria yata. I saw it in one of the chats. Because my team, we do kasi market research. We also do mystery shopping, and we check with our competitors kung magkano yung mga loans, home loans, auto loans, and then personal loans. So ito yung numbers ko dito sa current PL market. This is as of Friday last week. So maggagawa na naman kami ng survey this coming Friday if there are any changes, merong bang nagmahal, merong nagmura. So normally at this stage in the past few surveys that we did, ang rate ngayon ng personal loan steady, hindi siya nag-change. So if you look at your loan terms, I did a comparable with what FirstMetroSec Flexi has and in the current market. In your what's important is when you're looking at loan application, in the current market, you can already standard over the counter. You can go to the branch and fill out an application form, or you can go through a loans agent. There are some lenders that they would get a third party to do cold calls or to do flyering. Although flyering ngayon hindi na ginagawa pa. And then through online application. Si PSBank also has that online application, and you can go to any PSBank branch, or you can actually communicate with our head office, our business center, to talk about their flexi personnel. So approval process normally in the market, it takes about 5 days to 20 bank days for them to tell you that your application got approved. With PSBank kasi kaya namin in 24 hours as long as you submit your completed documents. Very important kasi yun, on your requirements. Now, what are the loanable amounts? In the market right now, they can lend you as little as 10,000 or as high as 2 million. There are some previously, but I'm not so sure. I think one can give up to 3 million, depending on the borrower and the profile of the borrower. For PSBank, because this is a reusable loan, meaning hindi ka na kailangan mag-reapply once you get an approval, and it's a credit line ready for you to use, you can get as low as 20,000 or up to a maximum of 250,000. Now, bakit 250,000, ma'am? Kasi any amount as well that goes beyond 250,000, you also get to pay doc stamps. We don't want kasi the borrower to shoulder that. That's why we limit at this point at 250,000. So for PSBank, is there a way for it to increase? Yes, there is. But we will have to go through an approval. Papa-approve natin, depende na yun sa capacity to pay mo. Now, loan term usually is 6 months to 60 months, fixed term yan, kasi yan yung available sa market. Si PS Bank kasi is quite unique kasi kami lang yung nag-offer sa inyo ngayon in the market of a fixed term loan. You can choose between 24 months to 36 months and a revolving loan in just one product. So, card-based siya, no? May i-issuean ka namin ng card and you can use it through ATM, mag-i-encash ka, and pipili ka sa ATM kung i-fix term mo ba siya or i-revolving loan mo siya. So, yan yung meron tayo ngayon. Now, if, for example, just a tip, if you find that your need for the loan is just short term, mangungutang ka, tapos kaya mo namang bayaran in 2 months time, no? In 3 months time, if kaya ng credit card mo, I suggest i-credit card mo na lang. Kasi kung ma-force ka na mag-take out ng loan long term, sandali mo lang naman pala babayaran because there are certain banks that charges pre-termination fee. Meaning, kung bayaran mo ng maaga, chargean ka nila ng 3% na outstanding mo or yung naiiwan dun sa loan mo. So, added naman na fee yun sa'yo. Although, kami sa PS Bank, wala kaming pre-termination fee. So, pwede kayo sa amin. Okay? So what's the rate? In the market, base rate right now, yung question kasi ni Ms. Mayor kanina, is 1.2%, anything from 1.2% to 2.5% add-on rate monthly. So currently, yan yung nasa market natin base rate. But there are certain lenders who are offering promo. Yung promo for a certain period, normally naglalas lang siya 3 months, 2 months, depending yan sa anong ipopromo nila. And then you can get a rate lower than 1.2. For PS Bank currently, our fixed term loan is 1.75 per month if you choose that, and the revolving is 2.5 per month. But what's nice about this is for PS Bank, you can actually reuse. Unlike in other banks, kailangan pang nabayaran mo na pay off mo na yung loan, kailangan mo mag-apply ulit. Sa amin kasi, it's renewable automatically as long as you are a good payer. Or if you choose to renew. Kasi ino-auto renew namin unless you say na ayaw nyo na sa loan namin. Now, what are the applicable fees? There's a processing fee for most of the lenders. It can range from 1,500 to 3,000. You also pay for the notarial fee of 100 pesos depending on the loanable amount. Of course, the doc stamps, as I mentioned earlier, and pre-termination fee is 3 to 5% of the remaining balance. Charge nila sa inyo. For PS Bank, ang babayaran mo lang is 1,500 annual fee, parang credit card. Then if you go to the ATM at mag-withdraw ka doon, a PS Bank ATM, 20 pesos lang per withdrawal. If it's a Metrobank ATM, 27 pesos and 50 cents. Bakit 27.50 cents? Anuhin natin si Metrobank. Anyway, so in terms naman of other banks, they will charge you 30 pesos bank debt and express, if it's a bank and express that member bank. And wala kaming pre-termination fee. So how do you avail? Proceeds, normally in the current market, they deposit it to your nominated account or they issue you a manager's check so you can draw it over the counter. For PS Bank kasi, you can get cash withdrawal via ATM using your FlexiCard. I-issuean kasi ka namin ng FlexiCard. Para ATM card. So, convenient sa'yo, anytime, 24/7, pwede ka pumunta sa ATM, then you can take out money from your Flexi loan. And you can also use it to swipe kasi card siya, and it's EMV ready. You can swipe it using any POS or point of sale sa any department store or grocery, banknet, expressnet, and then you also have the option to issue a check. You can choose, no? Gusto mo ng check, yes, we can give you a check so you can issue a check. Tapos yun ang gamit mo pambayad. Now, how do you pay it back? So, for most of the market, they can do over the counter, they can set up an auto debit, they can do online and mobile banking, you can pay off using their online mobile banking facility. With PS Bank, of course, very traditional way, you can go to any Metrobank or PS Bank branch, and then you can pay over the counter, just put there your loan amount, your loan account number. And or you can, if you already an existing client of PS Bank, you can set up a PS Bank online or mobile profile and then use those facilities, our mobile banking, our mobile app, or online banking app, online banking facility in the website so that you can use it to pay it off. Or you can do via InstaPay, from your bank from your bank's mobile banking, you can choose to pay off a loan using InstaPay. Just set it up there as a biller. Na biller nyo kami, si PS Bank with your loan account number. Then you can set it up in your mobile banking na ibayad sa amin. Chargean ka lang ng InstaPay a certain charge, depende dun sa banko mo. Or you can go to any 7-Eleven store, no? And you can actually pay off your loan using that. Or you also pay GCash. Now, all of this information are found on our website. So if you visit the www.psbankofficial.com or psbank.com.ph, that's our website, then you can check out the other payment facilities. Now, paano kung hindi ka nakapagbayad, na delay ka magbayad? Usually, late penalty fees, maswerte ka na makakuha ng 3% ng monthly charges or late charges to your unpaid amortization. But normally, nasa 5 to 7% yan right now. For PS Bank kasi, if your minimum amount due or total amount due is delayed from within 9 days from your due date, 3% lang charge namin. Now, if you reach on the 10th day onwards, we already charge 5%. Now, what are the other features? This is something that I'm very proud of telling you guys. With PS Bank kasi, if you take out a loan, you get prime rebate on your monthly term loan payments if you pay it in advance or in excess. So if you advance your payment or you pay it in excess on your term loan, makakuha ka ng rebates. Okay? Next, in cash, no? And ibabalik yan as a collectible AR, no? Tinatawag namin, accounts receivable on your account. And you can use it, minsan ginagamit na kung may AR tayo, system namin automatic, ina-apply namin yan sa next one na monthly payment kapag nakakuha ka ng rebates. Now, it's also renewable, no need for reapplication. As long as it's there and you are a good payer and you're keeping up with your loans, your payments, automatic, no, na renew natin yung kanyang loan. And then you also get SMS notification advisories. For example, on the status of your loan, if the loan application gets approved, you get an SMS. If it's already booked or isasend na namin sa inyo ang inyong card, may SMS ka rin. And then, for example, in the life of your loan, we constantly give out notification advisory. Sometimes actually, bigri kami ng birthday. So, nagta-text din kami sa inyo kasi nalalaman natin yon. And then lastly, we're very proud. PS Bank is a 5-time PSP Pagtugon awardee for outstanding customer focus and service. And only a few banks can say na nakakakuha sila ng ganang award kasi very excellent talaga ang customer experience namin, team. And that's something that hindi ako nahihiyang sabihin. Actually, personally, to tell you honestly, if they do like withdrawals, kasi natatakot ako na yung makash and dispense ako or makain yung card ko, I would do it in a PS Bank ATM. Bakit? Kasi ang bilis mo sumagot kapag may issue ako. Nakukuha ko. Hindi lang empleyado ako, it's also a common experience with others. So, mabilis tayo nagre-resolve ng issue. So, anyway, that's what you have with PS Bank. So, I think Miss Maria also, para masagot ko na, she also asked kung ano ang meron na ngayon na rate sa home loan. Currently, as of last week, for 1 year, it can range from 5 to 6.5% depending on your bank. For a 5-year home loan term, it's 6.25 to 7.5% annually. Okay, so yan yung market natin, sa market ngayon. Now, meron pa bang ibang products? Kasi may na-mention si Andoy kanina, meron kami multi-purpose zone. Correct si Andoy, no? We have 2 other products. But wait a minute, sorry, nag-skip na ako. I'll just talk about first also your eligibility. Who are eligible in taking out a loan? Your lenders also look at your age, no? If you have to be at least legally capable of taking out a loan, so at least 21 years old ka to 65. Sa amin, 22 to 54 years old. Kasi sometimes, depending yan sa retirable age. Sa PS Bank kasi, ang age of retirement namin is 55. So that's why nilagay natin 54 years old yan. But we allow actually to give you a term up to 55 years old. No? Tinitingnan na natin. Nilalagay lang natin yan yung sky. Now, citizenship, on the other hand, we normally, a personal loan market in the Philippines will only lend to Filipinos. For PS Bank, we are very particular if you are a Filipino citizen living in the Philippines. Importante sa amin yun because it allows us to carefully monitor your account. Now, if you're a non-Filipino, meaning you're a foreigner, there are certain lenders that would lend, to foreigners, but at a much higher rate. I have one example. Ang rate na binigay sa kanya monthly is 3%. Ang taas nun, 3 to 3.5%. So, parang pamatay. Although, mas mura pa rin siya sa 5-6. But, malaki pa rin, compared sa binibigay natin sa kapwa natin Filipino. Now, anong requirement kapag as regards your income? If you are employed in the current market, it's anything between minimum of 15,000 to 20,000. Some higher than that, they would require 30,000. If you are self-employed, anything between 30,000 to 100,000. For PSBank, if you're employed, we just look at if your gross monthly income is 15,000 at least, and then if you're self-employed, it's 30,000 per month. Now, ito yung very important, kasi some of our borrowers, ba't na-decline yung application ko? Kasi po, hindi po kayo naglagay ng tamang contact number. It's a very simple mistake, pero ang nilalagay nila, hindi po tama yung contact information. Importante po sa amin yun. Kasama po kasi yun sa credit checks. We have to determine na kung sinong dineclare nyo dun sa application, ay ikaw po talaga yun. At kung ano sinabi mo, dito ako nakatira, doon ka nga talaga nakatira. O dito ako trabaho, doon ka natatrabaho. So how do we do that? We require your landline or mobile number, your business line, or your work office number, kasi we would want to determine if you really are, if you're employed, if you're really employed, if you have a business, your business really is there. And then, importante po sa amin ng email. Dati hindi nila required, but now, kasi electronic na yung ways of communications natin, a valid email or email that works is really important, because that's where we usually send updates, if there's any system issue na hindi nyo magamit yung inyong flexi card, etc., etc. So, it's very important you have your contact info. Now, for some, kung credit card holder ka ba, mahalaga? Actually, yes. Normally, we would want our borrower also have credit history, and it's important. Normally, ang pinakamabilis na credit history is the credit card. If you're a very good credit card holder, meaning you are diligent, in your monthly payments, hindi ka nag-late payments, or hindi na cancel yung credit card mo, there's a high likelihood that you will get approved, and even for a higher loanable amount. So, mahalaga yun. Now, what are the requirements? Ang standard requirements mas actually, akala nyo marami yan, pero actually, konti lang yan compared to the requirements na hinahanap kapag nag-home loan ka or nag-auto loan. So, ang sa amin, you need to completely fill out your application form. Now, sasabihin ng iba, bakit ako na-decline? Kasi po, kulang po yung info ninyo. You need to have fill out your application form, and sometimes nakakaligtaan nyo pong pirmahan. Pirmahan nyo po yung application form, kasi that's how we check and determine, kasi kasama po yan sa know your customer namin na process. It's mandated by law, i-check talaga namin na kayo po talaga yun. So just fill out completely your application form. Now, photocopy also of at least 1 or 2 valid government ID. Important po yan. Valid meaning hindi pa siya paso, meaning it's still it's not expired. And what are these? For PSBank, ito yung ma-in-accept natin: company ID, SSS, GSIS, PRC, driver's license, copy of your passport, your TIN, yung plastic card type, and then firearms license, another example. Now, very crucial, para hindi po magtagal yung application ninyo, make sure that the photocopy is very clear. Kita po yung mukha ninyo, kasi dapat may ID, mukha ninyo, yung name ninyo, and yung signature. Kasi nagsisignature verification po kami. We want to ensure na yung nagsasign doon sa loan is actually yung owner talaga nung mga documents na yan. And we check if there's any difference in signature. Sometimes we contact you back and ask you for a clear ID, or we ask you to submit another ID showing your actual signatures. Now, very important, dapat yung mga update niyo yung mga IDs niyo, kung magsasubmit kayo ng IDs, ito yung pinaka-recent niyo ng signature, kasi sometimes nagbabago yung signature ng tao as we grow older, nasa-shortcut siya or lumalaki o humahaba, depende na yan sa'yo. So make sure na kung ano yung signature mo dun sa application mo, yun din yung nandoon sa SSS or sa IDs mo. Next is if you are employed, usually other banks would ask for your certificate of employment with income details that's issued in the last 6 months, your latest ITR or your latest 1-month payslip. Sa amin, kung meron kang BIR forms 2316 or 2306, yun lang. And if you have a credit card, your original latest billing statement. So it's important that you're a principal card holder. Now, if you are self-employed naman, may business ka, mas maraming hinihingi documents ang ibang bangko, no? They ask for your latest audited financial statement, your SEC Reg, GTI Cert, your business permits, payer permits, your last 3 months bank statements, and at least some of them trade references so they can contact, and your latest GIS if you're a corporation. Sa amin, ang hinihingi lang namin is your BIR Form 1701 and your latest audited report on and financial statements that's stamped by the BIR. Okay, meaning, nagbabayad pa tayo ng taxes niyo. Ang tama. Alright. So these are who are eligible. So, given those information, you can already assess now kung ikaw ba yung tamang magte-take out ng loan. Now, there's one question that I had before. Ma'am, paano kung nakatanggap lang po ako ng regular remittances from my families abroad? As a student po ako, but I would want to take a loan. I'm already 22 years old, pero still nagma-masters pa ako. Pero yung pera ko po, source of income ko, galing po sa parents ko na nasa Canada, pinapadalahan po nila ako monthly. Now, we can take a look at that, but most probably, hindi siya magpo-proceed. Why? Kasi your source of income is relative, no? It's not because it's because of somebody else and giving you money. It's technically not an income, but it's more of an allowance. So hindi siya talaga convincing for us to a certain extent, because anytime, especially now during the pandemic, unfortunately, there are some of our relatives who live abroad who have lost their jobs or have lessened income. So if you took out a loan at that time, tapos nag-proceed, and then may monthly payments ka na mahal, tapos nag-lessen yung nabibigay sa'yo na monthly allowances, hindi mo babayaran, magkakaroon ka tuloy ng delinquency, and kung hindi mo talaga siya makabayaran, baka magkaroon ka ng negative information sa inyong credit history. So we hope na you consider that as well. Now, it is very important for you to remember, when you apply for a loan, if your application gets declined, please don't take it personally, because your lender or your bank also looks at if this loan will really benefit your quality of life. Kasi baka ipapaloan namin kayo, tapos hindi nyo naman pala ma-afford magbayad o ibalik sa imbayad. Baka magka-problema pa tayo, matanggalan nyo ng budget yung mga anak ninyo, or kung ano pa yung mga na-enjoy niyo sa life nyo, dahil umutang kayo sa amin. And we don't want that. So very responsible naman ang mga bangko. We have the fiduciary responsibility to ensure that our borrowers are also given the correct product or loan, or denied the product because maybe now hindi pa siya pwede. Okay? So that's basically it, no, what we have. I'll just show you earlier, nabanggit ko na preempt ko sarili ko. We do have other loan products that's personal loan based. We have the PSBank multi-purpose loan and the payroll cash advance. But these we offered to our corporate clients. If your company has a payroll account with Metro Bank, we offer the PSBank multi-purpose loan and payroll cash advance. All right, so this is just a quick look. I'll just give you a quick glance. Hindi ko na usapan kasi ang daming features siya. We don't publicly offer this, but we offer this to our corporate clients. And if you happen to be an employee whose company has a payroll, whose payroll of your company is with Metro Bank, swerte kayo kasi i-offer namin sa iyo yan. All right. So I'll just move na. If you really are interested and you want to talk about personal loans with PSBank, here are our contact information. So if you medyo, if you feel confident, sabi mo, okay na sa akin, pwede na akong mag-loan. O sige, you can actually go online, go to our website, and then click on the Plexi Personal Loan Apply Now link, and then you can already apply for your personal loan. You can also, if you're comfortable naman, although allowed na tayong pumunta sa ngayon, just make sure that you're safe at na-vaccinate ka na. You can visit any PSBank branch. You can actually talk to any of our PSBank people in our branches. If you have queries, you can fill out the application form, the actual physical application form, and you can also submit the documents to the branch. If you don't want to go to the branch and you just want to, if you just have queries, you can actually call our PSBank Business Center, which is located at the head office. Those are the numbers, and you can also send a text message, SMS to them. If you feel na medyo techy ka and you're on social media, you can actually go to FB Messenger and then chat with us at our official FB page. So, mabilis po kami mag-chat at madaldal po kami. So, if you have a question, we automatically reply. And then we can also go online to at our website. You can do a live chat. That's 24/7. People will answer you back. We have people who are assigned to answer you back on any of your queries. Or if you wish, medyo ayaw mong live naman, you can email us at customerexperience@psbank.com.ph. So basically, those are just some of the information. I'm trying my best to make it quick, but I hope I was able to give you or educate you a little bit on what the personal loan is and what are the things that you need to consider before you take out a loan.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Anne,
Thank you,
for that
Ianna.
very valuable information. Actually, no. So parang, if I'm not mistaken, this is like anything and everything under the sun that you can ask, that you can loan, no? So actually, bagay na bagay siya with what I'm going to discuss with you right now. So to our audience, now I'm seeing that there's a lot of questions, but sandali na lang and we will answer them all. First, let me just show you what is the importance of having your personal space, especially in the time of the pandemic. So when I say personal space, I'm not saying na you should buy a new home right now. But if you are planning to buy a new home, I prepared some investment hacks for you that we will talk about later. So personal space, this can be applicable to your current homes, even if you are renting. But of course, there are some limitations on what you can do when renting. If you are living with your family, your own room can be your personal space. Or if inevitably you have a roommate, there can still be ways to make boundaries. So when the COVID-19 pandemic happened, most of the time we are locked in our homes. You can't go outside without wearing your face mask, your face shield. You can't even shake the hands of your business partners anymore, or even meet beso-beso to your friends or to your relatives. And the only place where you can have a sense of normalcy again, where you can be yourself and you don't have to wear these protective gears, have some privacy and feel safe, is your personal space. Next is your personal space provides you with convenience. And when I say convenience, it's not necessarily the vicinity of where your home is located, though that is actually a very huge bonus point if malapit ka lang sa malls, sa drugstores, hospitals, even to your work. So when I say convenience in your personal space, so for example, nowadays, when even dining out is a threat, diba? Some have learned how to cook. And where is that? In your own kitchen. So you stock up on necessary stuff because you want to lessen your trips to the groceries, or you are required to work from home now and suddenly your bedroom became your office. You started a new business and now your home is a bake shop, a warehouse, a studio for shooting pictures of your items, or even yourself selling those items. So our homes are now more than just a place to stay. It provides you the convenience of doing the things which you used to normally do outside, now in the comfort of your homes. And next, you get to create your dream home. Everyone has a dream home. Everyone have imagined what their dream homes would look like as kids. as young as when you first played bahay-bahayan. So do you remember, diba, as a child, you have your parents' house and yet you need to have this little bahay. It doesn't matter if the walls are made of pillows and the roof is made of blankets. It can also be used boxes, yung mga malalaking boxes sa mga appliances, mga washing machine. Some of you probably has those playhouse in the garden or even a small doll house. But why is that even so enjoyable as kids? Well, because one, that little bahay is yours. And two, you get to choose how your bahay looks like, how big it is, where to put your kitchen, your table, your bedroom. You are in control. So you can customize your interiors and your exteriors to how you want it to be. So now that we are older and we can afford our own place, it's the same. We want to customize our place to our liking, diba? So from the paint color to the type of the furniture to the brand of the appliances that we use. As mentioned earlier, ibang usapan if you're renting. So you may not have that much freedom to make permanent changes, but of course, you can still change your interiors. So question, no? Where is your go-to place when you want to get inspiration for your homes? So diba, before it used to be the department stores or furniture shops, even hardware stores. Until such time na lalapitan ka na lang ng salesman and then bubuntot na sa'yo and then everything will just be awkward. So also, there's Google and Pinterest where you save the photos or you take screenshots of your desired pegs. Nowadays, you have communities on social media. So the most well-known one would be the homebodies, no? So if we have kapitbahays here, hello to our virtual kapitbahays. So social communities like these, people share more than just pegs for inspiration. They share actual reviews and experiences of the product they bought, mapa-negative man or positive. They also recommend people who provide services. Nagre-refer sila. They share how they did their DIY projects. But most importantly, they share the cost they incurred. So right then and there, you will get to have an idea of how much it would cost if you want to do something similar. And speaking of cost, talagang may gastos pag may bahay. Kasi your home is a hard-earned asset. So it is just right lang na we take care of the general maintenance and upkeep and everything in between. So this is an example of the things na kailangan nating magastos pagka may bahay ka. So of course, we have the renovation and the remodeling. So the difference here is yung renovation, this is restoring or repairing an existing structure to a new one. So generally, this involves the normal wear and tear, yung mga damages which needs to be fixed, which requires immediate attention. Yung remodeling naman, this is when you want to change or transform the existing design or appearance. So let's say example, yung bathroom mo, okay naman yung itsura niya, but you want to change the tiles, you want to change the lavatory to a specific type, gusto mong lagyan ng bathtub, yun ang remodeling. So both can cost you from as little to 5 digits up to 7 digits depending on the contractor, the labor, and even the quality that you will use. So just a tip ha, if you're going to hire professionals, sometimes it's better to get them from referrals, preferably from those who have experience getting their services. And another tip, please mag-canvas kayo, both the services and the materials, so you can get a general idea of what they are charging you. So if it's too high, of course, we don't want that kasi we have to be practical then. Also, we don't want it to be too cheap kasi it might be too good to be true. And chances are, if it is too good to be true, it really is. Baka naman substandard or kulang ang gawa or hindi siya tatapusin or 'di ba, yung mga nagkakaroon ng sakit ng ulo. So what we want is a fair price for a good quality job done. Ito, naging uso talaga to, especially during the pandemic, no? So millions of Filipinos had to adjust to a work from home arrangement with little preparation since the quarantines were enforced. And now our home serves as our offices. There is a need for a stable internet connection, gadgets such as computers, noise cancelling headsets, microphones, lighting, a proper desk and chair. Kasi syempre, you'll be sitting in there for long hours of time. Kaya nga, di ba nauuso ngayon yung mga ergonomic friendly na mga materials. And others that are necessary for the work that we do. And of course, if parents and adults must work from home, they must stay at home, all the more our children. So the transition from traditional schooling, where the books and the school supplies used to be just the only things that parents need to buy after enrollment. Now, on top of that, there is this added expense of getting a computer set per child. Yes, per child. They can no longer share just one desktop because of the conflict of schedule. So of course, working from home shouldn't mean you work or you study 24/7. You need to have time for yourself then. So however, during the pandemic, most non-essential establishments are closed or operating at limited capacity. So even some of the condominiums amenities, minsan nagsasara din sila or limited lang. So these even though they are open sometimes there's this threat na ayaw mo ma-expose to other people. So some would still prefer to stay in their homes. And because of this, some have set up their entertainment areas such as a theater room and a gaming room. And also this pandemic has made people more health conscious. So they set up a space for working out. Either they just want to take care of their bodies or they want to get that daily dose of endorphins. And even when traveling domestically to the province is a challenge now because of the border restrictions, we still have this need to be one with the nature. And our gardens and balconies gave us that much needed zen thanks to our inner plantitos and plantitas. And of course, let's not forget the general aesthetics of our space. People are now designing their homes based on themes. Kaya nga nauso na yung mga hashtag team kahoy, team puti, team black, from minimalist to rustic designs to maximalist. Because going back to what I said earlier, this is you wanting your vision of a dream home come to reality. So nowadays, people also combine aesthetics with functionality, from like space saving furniture to getting items that also help pandemic proofing your homes, such as yung mga air purifiers, mga water filters, and the likes. Pero teka lang, wait lang. Time out. Bakit ba parang puro gastos ang usapan? Isn't it counterintuitive that we are, si Sir Andoy kanina ina-encourage kayo to invest, yet now I'm implying that you should spend. Well, the difference of investment and expenses kasi, di ba? If you invest, you use your money to make more money. With expenses, you spend the money and that's it. So let me explain. That's why I'm discussing these things to you, no? These things that we discuss are called necessary expenses. Mga kailangan. Although the term necessary kasi can be subjective, what is necessary to you may not be a priority for others. So you have to assess yourself first. Kasi don't forget, the most important asset that we have is ourselves. Therefore, we should also invest in our well-being, in our peace of mind, convenience, to help us be more comfortable, productive. And as long as the expenses are necessary, you do proper budgeting, you spend wisely, that's still okay. Kasi there is also such a thing as maling pagtitipid. And yung maling pagtitipid, yan yung tinipid mo yung sarili mo. You refrain from spending for necessary stuff and you end up spending more because of some compromises. So expenses naman doesn't have to be a one-time big-time deal. That's why we have PSBank and FirstMetroSec discussing about good utang, about investments. So even though you can afford it in a one-time big-time deal, good utang can still give you this opportunity where you can pay only a portion of your expenses and use the rest of your money to put it into other investments, which can potentially give you more money. So here are the investment hacks that I promised you earlier. No? So investment hack number 1. Did you know that home improvements is already an investment hack? Yung mga diniscuss ko sa inyo kanina, yung mga aesthetics, yung mga interiors, renovation, yes, that is an investment hack. because a clean and neat interior and exterior is always a good indicator of a well-maintained property, which obviously it will help increase your property valuation. So you can also notice no, that the property, if fully furnished yung unit, it fetches a higher rental price than those that are out there. Same with selling the property. Yung mga property that looks old or yung medyo mukhang laspag na, mas mura siya compared to those properties na newly renovated. So investment hack number 2. If you are planning to buy a new property, please get it from a trusted developer. You don't want to find yourself paying millions of pesos for a property and at the end of the day, sakit sa ulo ang ibibigay sa'yo. So how do you spot a reliable one? So allow me to show you how. So Federal Land is an example of a Philippine real estate developer that I can say that you can trust. And here are the reasons why. So Federal Land has been in the industry for more than 49 years. It holds a legacy of personifying and reshaping the skyline of key cities in the Philippines with iconic structures and world-class developments. It is also known for financial stability and its industry track record. So Federal Land is a member of GT Capital Holdings, one of the largest business conglomerates in the country with a market capitalization of 3.5 billion US dollars. So when it comes to stability, when it comes to our mother company, we can say that Federal Land is a stable company. Federal Land has also a number of prestigious global brand partnerships for its various property developments, and it reinvents the standards of project planning and development with innovative technology. Federal Land also delivers real estate projects that are of world-class standards in design and structural durability. Thus, this partnership with the experts in the industry, such as Arup, Niken, Tangi and Associates, and even Foster Plus Partners. Federal Land has also increased in value significantly since launch, particularly in the BGC Taguig and Macatagal Bay areas by 132 and 260% respectively. Historically, our real estate project values have grown consistently throughout the years and continue to do so, making real estate the best investment option despite the economic or pandemic situation. And lastly, it offers privacy and exclusivity because of its strategic locations and accessibility to integrated communities that provide convenience to its residents. The Federal Land has an extensive project network with 20 active residential projects. We have townships or integrated communities of residential, commercial, and office development. So moving on to hack number 3. It is to take advantage of the promos and flexible payment terms being offered now. With Federal Land, we currently offer additional discounts, flexible terms, and even freebies. But of course, terms and conditions apply. So please refer to your sales agents and brokers for more details. You may also ask them to keep you updated if we have any changes or new promos. And of course, under promos, here are some of our pre-selling properties. So an example would be in Quantum Residences in Taft Avenue, Pasay City, where the location is convenient because it is close to public transportations and schools and just a few kilometers away from Makati and Pasay CBD. And this property, the payment terms here has always been flexible, but now we just made it even more affordable. Another one that offers promos would be the Simpsons Residences located in Grand Central Park in Bonifacio Global City. So it is the country's first residential project with a distinct Japanese concept. This project is a partnership between Federal Land and two Japanese giants, Nomura Real Estate Development and Isetan Mitsukoshi Holdings. We've added more discounts and you can get this high-end unit in BGC for as low as 36,000 pesos only. And also we have Mikasa Residences, your tropical-inspired residences in Metro Park Bay area, which offers accessible and modern-day convenience as it is very near stylish malls and city access points. And when you purchase a unit at Hawaii Tower, you are entitled to a Toyota voucher applicable to any vehicle or variant. Again, terms and conditions apply. So another hack under promos is the ready for occupancy units. Usually, if you want a ready for occupancy, you get them at the secondary market or what we call the resale units. In that case, you need to shell out a huge amount of money to pay it in full cash, or you have to pay the down payment and you have the balance finance immediately, which brings us to this hack. You can get a ready for occupancy under a lease to own term. So yes, you heard that right. You can get a ready for occupancy unit for the price of a monthly rent. You just need to settle the security deposit and advance rent, then you can move in immediately. Plus, you can get the option to purchase that property at the end of the term. So here are also some samples of our ready for occupancy projects with new promo terms. So this one, it's 1 Wilson Square. It is an upscale condominium community in Wilson Street, San Juan. And there are new lease-owned terms with additional discounts available. We also have in Cebu City our first branded residences, which is Polo Residences. It has both pre-selling and ready for occupancy units. And this one, it offers panoramic views of the sea, the sky, and the city. The residents will enjoy hotel living like no other with the hotel a la carte services and beyond the usual amenities. And aside from the properties that I have showed you, we have other available pre-selling and ready for occupancy units in Makati, BGC, Ortigas, Pasay, Manila, you name it. So investing in a federal land property is actually very easy. You just need to talk to your real estate agent or broker. If you don't have one yet, you can let me know so I can personally assign you to a federal land seller or broker. And you can also inquire online via our official website or on Facebook and other social media channels. We can talk to you virtually via Zoom, Viber, emails, whichever is more convenient for you. And when the lockdown restrictions eases up, we can schedule you for a site tour to our showrooms and actual units. So if when you reserve your property, you can do it at the convenience of your homes because federal land accepts cash, checks, bank deposits, even GCash, and we can also send a link where you can pay via credit card online. So that is it for my presentation for federal land. If you have questions, please feel free to type them now in the chat box. And may I also invite Sir Andoy and Ms. Anne so we can also answer some of the questions that you have been typing here. I think Sir Andoy is having trouble unmuting himself now. So, hanap na lang tayo ng ibang question. Ano na lang, Miss Anne, I have a question pala.
Sige.
So, actually, it's for both of you, kay Sir Andoy and kay Miss Anne. So, di ba, when it comes to investments, people keep saying na invest only what you can afford to lose. I'm sure you've heard that a lot. Is it advisable to take a loan to get an investment? That is obviously that is good for home loans, no, when you're getting a property. But when it comes to other kinds of investments, if someone would apply to you, Miss Anne, I want a personal loan because I want to invest it in stocks or in mutual funds, is that allowed?
Actually, yes. Well, of course, huwag mo i-declare sa amin na i-invest mo sa iba. You just state there. Kasi normally, hindi siya lumilitaw no, as a reason for taking out a personal loan. But here's the thing, you have to look at your yield first, no, and also the interest rate on the personal loan. Baka mas malaki pang babayaran mo dun sa personal loan mo kaysa dun sa i-earn mo. So, be careful and think, basta magpera ako, makakuha ko pera, matuban ako, sige, invest ko na. Baka mute lang siya, hindi siya talaga mag-yield sa'yo. Magne-negate pa, no? Magne-negative pa sa'yo kasi mas mahal pala yung interest rate monthly ng personal loan mo as opposed doon sa kikitain mo sa investment mo. So be careful, no? If it's high yield and kaya mo naman and you're aggressive and feeling mo, afford mo naman yung personal loan na monthly payments, why not? No? Again, not everyone, sabi nga ni Andoy kanina, not every utang is equal, not everyone is equal in terms of the capacity or the aggressiveness in investing. So nasa sa'yo yan.
All right, would you want to add to that, Sir Andoy?
Yeah, yung sabi ni Miss Anne, that's actually hedging, no? So positive hedge. Nangutang ka and you're paying it off sa PSBank now, say 5% per annum. But nag-i-invest ka sa isang outlet which gives you 8, 9, 10%, and that's a positive hedge. Ibig sabihin, kumikita ka. Yung kinikita mo doon sa investment outlet na naging reason why you took out a loan from PSBank, actually paying off your interest, no, interest expenses kay PSBank. But then again, sabi nga ni Ms. Anne, hindi yun a perfect situation, but hindi parating ganun ang nangyayari. It really depends on the situation, it depends on the market situation, it depends on the available investment outlet, and of course it depends on you as the investor. But at the end of the day, siguro to comment then on that statement that invest only an amount which you can afford to lose. Siguro it applies to investment outlets na hindi tayo familiar with. So first time nating susubukan. At the end of the day, parang ang gusto nating sabihin dito is if and consistent with our presentation, if you're making informed investment decisions, then may konting confidence ka dapat, no? Ibig sabihin na nagtanong ka sa mga dapat pagtanungan, nag-research ka ng mga dapat mong malaman, at sabi nga ni Ianna, you're dealing with reputable names. You're investing with reputable investment banks. You're entrusting your stock market portfolio to award-winning brokers. You're dealing with award-winning banks. You're dealing with award-winning developers and brokers. So you can't go wrong if you do it that way.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Andoy, Ms. Anne. We have a question here from Catherine Diaz. I think this is for you, Sir Andoy. What is the differences of ETF versus index funds?
Yeah, yun. Hindi ko talaga intentionally sinagot sa chat para at least mabigyan tayo ng opportunity to answer it live for the benefit of other viewers, no, na baka ganun din yung concern. So to answer that question, an exchange traded fund is actually a mutual fund listed in the stock market. Ang exchange traded fund, it mimics, no, it mirrors the performance of certain indices, or yung plural siya ng index, certain indices. Ang index fund naman is essentially a mutual fund or a unit investment trust fund na ganun din, it mirrors a certain benchmark. Pero sa Pilipinas kasi, para hindi tayo maging komplikado, sa Pilipinas ang index fund natin mostly are Philippine Stock Exchange index funds. Ibig sabihin nun, when you invest in index funds, you're investing in blue chip stocks, no? So mutual funds usually ang index stocks, but ang exchange traded fund hindi lang siya limited to blue chips. It's mirroring certain benchmarks. What makes it easy, kung baga make or break to sa Pilipinas, no, is the fact that in the Philippines nag-iisa pa lang kasi ang exchange traded fund, and it happens to mirror the Philippine Stock Exchange Index or blue chips. But essentially, long story short, an exchange traded fund is essentially a mutual fund listed in the stock market. So kung gusto mong mag-invest sa exchange traded fund, you need to have a stock brokerage account, a stockbroker account. If you would like to invest in index funds, kailangan meron kang mutual fund account, meron kang fund manager, meron kang account with Metrobank or PSBank, no, for unit investment trust funds. But again, the good thing about that is with FirstMetroSec, you can invest in UITFs, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, stocks, and real estate investment trusts by just opening one account. So that's it.
All right, thank you so much for that. And going back to Miss Maria's question, no, someone's saying kasi buy Metrobank while it's down or low, and she's asking, where can I buy it?
Yeah. For the benefit of our, dun sa nagtanong, and for Miss Maria, Metro Bank po kasi is a listed stock, so kailangan mo again ng stock brokerage account, and you can buy it through FirstMetroSec. Quick comment lang dun sa, again, recommendation ng isa nating viewer na buy Metro Bank habang mababa pa. Professionally, I can't comment on that because Metro Bank kasi is our parent bank. That's also the reason why FirstMetroSec is not covering Metro Bank pagdating sa stock market analysis, sa stock analysis, because again, conflict of interest yun. Every time we say, oh, buy Metro Bank or sell Metro Bank, conflict of interest yun because we happen to be the stock brokerage arm of Metro Bank. But I would agree, no, that relatively speaking, if we're going to compare Metro Bank versus its peers, it's trading relatively cheap. So if you'd like to take advantage of its current situation, you might want to pick it up now.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Ms. Maria. So another, actually, parang very proactive si Ms. Maria, no? I would like to know about this different types of investment analysis, finding it very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Andoy Beltran. A lot of things I've learned today about today's investment seminar.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Maria. And of course, welcome po. No? This is something that we do on a regular basis. And thank you po. That we really appreciate it that you're learning a lot from this. So yun po, ma'am. Yung investment options that we've just talked about, stock market investments, mutual fund investments, exchange traded funds, and most recently, bagong-bago lang, 2020 lang, ginawang available to Filipinos real estate investment trusts. I'd be very happy to discuss these things with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your email address from our friends from Federal Land so that I can get in touch with you. But essentially, ma'am, these are all available through FirstMetroSec kasi we pride ourselves in providing Filipinos with a one-stop shop for anything and everything investments.
Pero Ms. Maria is actually based in Sydney pala, no? So yeah. How is that? How can, if she wants to invest here? Sorry, Ms. Maria, ako na nagtanong for you. So
that's okay. Ang importante lang po dyan, kagaya ng sinasabi ni Ms. Ann kanina, no, may mga limitations lang tayo when it comes to loan availments. Sa pagdating sa stock market investing, regardless of the citizenship, pwede naman. But ang pinaka-importante dyan is dapat meron si Ms. Maria na Philippine Tax Identification Number, because apart from us being your stockbroker, I mean, eventually, kung sakali po na mag-open ka ng account with FirstMetroSec, will also be acting as your withholding agent. So ibig sabihin nun, hindi nyo na po siya kailangan i-declare sa income tax returns nyo dito sa Pilipinas, because every time you sell stocks, yun pong karampatang buwis or taxes na dapat yung bayaran sa Philippine National Government through the Bureau of Internal Revenue, kami po ang magbabayad nun on your behalf. At yun po ang dahilan why we need to have, why we're requiring tax identification numbers. Ayun po.
Ayan, so she chatted here. Yes, I have BIR account number.
Perfect.
She also has a Philippine Bank account, which is also perfect. So we can actually open a FirstMetroSec account, Ms. Maria.
Yes.
May gawan kita ng group chat. Ayan, so do we have any other questions from our audience? So while we're waiting for other questions, Sir Andoy, would you like to do the honors of doing our quiz, our exam?
Yes, of course. Again, to wrap everything up, habang nag-generate pa tayo ng additional questions, as promised, no, sabi nga natin, to reward our loyal viewers from Zoom and Facebook na nag-peak tayo more than 100. We're now doing close to 40, 50, 60 yata combined. We're going to run a very quick quiz show. 5 questions lang, 5 questions. Again, I'm going to run it via Menti. So ngayon pa lang, I'm asking all of you guys, I'm encouraging all of you guys to visit www.menti.com. Okay? www.menti.com, and then ang passcode po natin, ang password natin dito sa quiz natin is 83589048. Okay? 83589048. We're opening this to our viewers from Zoom and on Facebook. Kapag naka-reach tayo ng at least 10 participants, I'm going to start the quiz But at any point in time, pwede po kayong mag-join. No? Ang kukunin po natin dito would be the winner who will get the most number of points at the end of 5 questions. No? So we have 5, 6, 4 more participants, please, for us to start with the quiz. 7 participants so far, www.menti.com. And then when you get asked ano yung code, it's 83589048. All right? 7 participants so far. Siguro 1 more for us to start the quiz. 8, 9, going once, going twice. Sige, let's begin, no? So again, to our participants, there you go, 10 participants. Let's begin with the first question. Okay, madali lang to, lalo na kung nakinig kayo dun sa webinar natin. My first question is, okay, is there such a thing as the best investment? Andoy, real estate is the best. For me, bonds is the best. For me, stock market investing is the best. Or option number 4, none. It depends on my investor personality. Perfect. So all 11 of you guys answered correctly. But sino sa inyo ang nakasagot ng pinakamabilis? Kasi siya yung mas mataas ang score. Let's find out with our leaderboard. All right. So far, question 1 of 5. So far, we have Kathy leading the pack. Pero hindi naman malayo si Mark Lianza and hindi rin naman nalalayo si Bill, Mark Angelo, and even Laika. So close to. And again, the good thing about that is you can still join. People from Facebook, people from Zoom, you can still join because we still have 4 answers, 4 questions left. No? So now we go to question number 2. Question number 2, how can you make money through real estate without selling it? Pwede mo ba siyang iparenta? Pwede mo ba siyang ipalease? Or option number 3, all of the above. I can have it rented, I can have it leased. There you go. So you have 4 answers, 4 people who answered rent, 4 people who answered lease, 7 people who answered correctly. Pwede pareho. I can have our properties rented and then yung iba leased. Hindi ko siya kailangang ibenta but I'm making money off of it. So let's find out kung nagbago ba yung leaderboard natin after question number 2. Let's find out. Kathy pa rin ba? Kathy was still able to maintain the lead. Pero again, sobrang lapit lang. Mark Lianza, Laika, sabi ko nga, no, Laika, from number 5, number 3 na siya ngayon. George Ato, Gladys, Maypi. So again, 3 more questions to go. So may chance pa rin po kayo to take home our 500 pesos worth of 7-Eleven electronic vouchers. Question number 3. Are all utangs bad? Sobrang dali. Are all utangs bad? Is it yes or is it no? Not all utangs are created equal. Super easy to answer, but the question is who's going to be able to answer it correctly the fastest? Time's up. All 1 answered yes, 13 answered no. Sino yung leaders natin so far after 3 questions? Let's find out. Si Kathy pa rin ba? Si Mark na ba? Si Laika na ba? Let's find out. There you have it. Mark was able to slightly by just 10 points, no? Mark was able to overtake Kathy. So as of with the 2 questions left, sobrang neck and neck tayo. First, second, third, fourth, and even fifth, no? Malapit lang, sobrang dikit lang. So there's still chance for you to catch up. Question number 4 coming up next. How much sales charge, commissions, and transaction fees are you going to pay if you invest in mutual funds through our FundSmart? Is it 1%? Is it 2%? Is it 3%? Or is it 0? I even highlighted this in red kanina. It's 0. If you invest in FundSmart, if you invest in mutual funds through us, First MetroSec, through FundSmart, hindi ka lang ma-charge dyan ng capital gains tax. So wala kang capital gains tax, wala ka ng sales load, wala ka ng commission, at wala ka ng transaction fees. So it's very investor friendly. So 11 of you guys answered correctly, but then again, sino yung pinakamabilis? Let's find out with our leaderboard after question number 4. Mukhang may pagbabago. There you go. So again, sabi ko nga, si Laika from 5, she's now number 2. And then Kathy was able to reclaim the lead. Again, malapit lang. Magkakalapit lang. Please, huwag kayong mawalan ng pag-asa. We still have one final question left. So let's begin. Question number 5. Answer fast to get more points. Laika, pwede pa siyang humabol. How do you safely and conveniently open a FirstMetroSec online investment account? 1, do you visit a MetroBank branch? 2, do you visit any of our offices in Makati, Visayas, in Cebu, and in Davao, Mindanao? Or do you go to www.firstmetrosec.com.ph? There you go. So lahat naman ng yan, tama. Pwede po kayong pumunta sa MetroBank. Our MetroBank partners should be able to assist you. Pwede po kayong pumunta sa offices namin. Pero ang tanong ko po is, how do you safely and conveniently open a FirstMetroSec online investment account? But of course, ang sagot po niyan, online. Skip the line, invest online, 24/7 online and paperless account opening, www.firstmetrosec.com.ph. And again, please use our official event code, Let's Get Personal. 11 of you answered correctly, but tingnan natin kung nagbago ba ang leaderboard natin after 5 questions. Let's find out. Almost. So again, Kathy, congratulations. You should be able to receive, You should be able to receive a notification from Menti informing you that you are the winner. Please do get in touch with us with your email address para doon namin mapadala yung 7-Eleven e-voucher. So again, on behalf of Team First MetroSec, on behalf of Team Federal Land, and on behalf of Team PSBank, thank you for participating in our quiz show. And let me turn the floor back over to Ianna, our host.
Congratulations, Kathy, and thank you for the participation of our audience. All right, so if we don't have any other questions, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. What better way than to invest in companies where we work hand in hand to help you in your investment journey? For anything and everything investments, you have First Metro Securities. For your property investments, you have Federal Land. And for your banking and financing needs, you have PSBank. You may reach us through these email addresses or social media channels. Again, this is your host, Ianna, and I would also like to thank our guests, Mr. Andoy Beltran of First Metro Securities and Ms. Illagan of PSBank. Thank you everyone and have a nice day.